Hello everybody, welcome back to another tutorial for Campfire writing for beginners. What I'm going to do this time around is I am going to combine both arcs and manuscripts because I don't think there's really much to go over with arcs, but but the rest of the video will definitely be about the manuscript. And I'm thinking about doing a final video in regards to just publishing your work by itself. So let's go ahead and work on arcs. Now, the reason why I have timeline and characters, we're going to need it for the arcs. Because what arcs is, it helps to establish your character throughout the story, so you kind of have an idea to how your character grows. So what we're going to do here is you have two options. One, before you create the arc, it is going to ask you to link events for your character in within the timeline. Now, I haven't done anything with the red story, so I'm going to be using my story, Knights of Iran, to pretty much show this example. Okay, so now before we do the arcs, we have to add our characters to the events that are happening in the timeline, so that way you can see the progression of the character in each event that we're going to pick. So we're going to pick 3 events. I've already named them. I just quickly did Act 1, 2, and 3. Now, you have 2 ways of doing this. You can add it through the timeline or add it through the character. If you're going to add it through the timeline, you can only do it one at a time within each act. You would just simply click on it, and as you can see, I already created a new links panel. All I did was just go to the plus, add, go to links, and bam, it's there. And again, if this is your first video and you want to know more about the panels, you can check out the video. I will have it posted. Just click on that card and it will take you there. So all you have to do is just go to add link. So you go to add link, scroll down, find the character, click on it, and then you click on the link element and it will attach it. The easier way is to also do it through the characters. And the reason why it's easier is because once you're in the profile, all you have to do is just scroll down, go to the ad, because this is, once again, the links. All I have to do is now, here are my 3 events. And I'm going to go backwards because the way, for whatever reason, when I click on the events in order, it mixes everything up. So I'm going to start with Act 3, 2, 1. See how I selected all 3 of them at the same time instead of going to the timeline and clicking on that event one by one? All right, so we have our events. We've linked Kevin to these events. And what we're going to do is we can go ahead and shrink this because we don't need this nor the timeline. We can now create our arc for our character. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus, and I'm going to select Kevin because, again, like I said, he's going to be the character whose arc is going to be changing over time in the story. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. It brought majority of the stuff that we wrote about our character into here. So the only thing that ARC focuses on is images, text, lists, stats, and tables. Now, I haven't created a stat for Kevin per se, and I haven't really created a table. As you can see, these are lists, images, and text panels that I've selected. So this is what arcs is able to bring over. It's not able to bring over everything like attributes. It doesn't do attributes. So over here, if you want to add any more events for Kevin, you can do that. And again, continue on with whatever helps our character to progress. Here are the 3 that we have already selected, Act 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same exact thing. Then you have panel changes. This, for example, let's say I did not want this panel. I can delete it. but it is not gone. It is not gone in the characters. It's still there because, like I said, all ARCs did was just copy everything that was in characters into its own little database. So if you want to bring it back, just go to import panels, and as you can see, it's right there. Stats. Now, this is a little tricky on account that this is where in your character profile, if my character was to have stats, I would add it in here, and it will show the progress of my character using the statistics panel, and you can change the level within each event so that way you could see how he has, evolved. So let's say power up, and I'm going to start with 5. So now he has a stat. If I'm to go over to the arc, go to panel changes, go to stats, there it is. And it's already highlighted in purple. I can change the color however I want it. So now we have the stats. Notes is if you want to add any additional notes to the events. And here you can add the panels that you want. Unfortunately, the notes will not affect any changes that you put here. This is just something on the side. So again, it's just side notes. It won't affect or make any changes to what you have done within the acts. So let's go ahead and focus on Act 1. So on Act 1, he's on Earth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my character, and because what I did was I removed the aura around him. So as you can see, he has a plain background now. And let's say I don't want all the panels here. Physical traits, pretty much this is the normal stuff because this is Act 1. This is what I want my character to look like. And we go from there. So for the stats, he's a 5. We're going to go ahead and keep that. So now let's go to Act 2. In Act 2, as you can see how it has changed versus Act 1? Because what I did was I removed what I didn't want and I made some slight adjustments. So it shows you that in Act 2, there are some changes. Now here, I can just simply add that acquired powers. And I can add a description and so on and so forth. Let's see. Physical traits, add weapon. All right. So, and over here under bio, my character has arrived to a new world. So this is the change that has happened in Act 2. As for stats, I can probably bump this up to a 10 and see how it has changed from Act 1 over here. It has changed here in Act 2 where his power level has risen to a 10. It is starting to create the change that we're seeing in our character. So now we're going to go to Act 3, and what I'm going to do here is I did also something else on the side because my character, he develops a new ability within his powers when he is doing the final battle. So this Act 3 is the final battle against the villain. All right, so I made the changes and I added final battle here. I can add here that gained power up And I could give that power up a name. I'll call it Super Blue. So, and then when I go to the panel and I go to stats, all I got to do is just change it to, let's bump it up to 50. So as you can see, now the arc has curved based off of his stats. So his power has leveled up to 50, but it started out as a 10, or it was a 10 in Act 2, and then it was a 5 when he was on Earth. So pretty much this is what it's showing you, and it changes over time as your character progresses with each new event that you add. So if I were to add more events to this, you're going to see the graph, change over time based on each act, each event, each setup. So pretty much this is, arc in a nutshell. So like I said, Act 1, he's normal, he's on Earth. Act 2, he arrives to a new world. See how it updates and acquired power, adds weapon, change the picture, and then on Act 3, final battle, gain power, Super Blue. So this is pretty much what arc does. If you don't need arc, if you don't feel that you need arc, you don't have to, use this. I might not plan on using it anytime soon. I might, who knows? I could change my mind. But again, all you have to do is just go to view, go to module filters, and close that eye if you don't want to use the arc. But this is pretty much the arc system in a nutshell. All right, so now we are going to be focusing on manuscripts. Now, for manuscripts, you have two options. You can start writing your work in Campfire, or you can import your work that you've worked on Microsoft Word and go from there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at manuscripts. I've already imported the 3 chapters. This is not my new draft. These chapters are actually my very first draft that I posted on To Pass and other online programs. So this is pretty much my old work that I'm happily willing to, share to everybody. But let's go ahead and dive deeper into manuscript. First, I'm going to click on this little square right here, and it's going to take us to the progress of what I've done for these 3 chapters. So this is the stats. This is what it looks like without it. This is what happens when you click on it. And here it's calculated the words per chapter. If you want, over on the right-hand corner is the status. This here, whether it's your entire manuscript or chapter stats, if you are the kind of person that wants to set a goal for yourself, this is where you create how many words that you want to work on that chapter, and you type in the day that you've completed it, and what it will do is it will calculate it for you. Because again, if you are the kind of person that likes to create goals, this is where you want to do. This is where you want to go. And so after you've set up, let's say 100 words, you want to work on 100 words, and if you did complete it, type in when did you complete it. And then from here, this is where you have the option of whether you want to apply it for this chapter alone or for all chapters, and then apply to all chapters without goals. So we're going to focus on apply this. So this is my writing goal. So as you can see, I've completed it. Because of course it was more than 100 words, but you just mark it complete and you go from there. So again, this is for anyone who likes to do writing goals. But down below, you can see the words for each chapter, your progress as you go, and then how many words that you wrote within the month within each month. I don't know. Did it keep? No, it didn't keep records of my last year. No, unfortunately not. Okay. So that is for again, when you want to create goals for yourself. And see here, the word count, it shows that it's complete. It's updated that. You could add notes to it. But again, this is the layout. If you don't want the layout like this, you also have the cards. And you can size the cards to either the default size or if you want to do small. But what these cards are for is to help you, the person, know that, okay, this is what chapter 1 is all about. You write a short description, add any notes to remind yourself if you get stuck on anything, you know, so this is pretty much you just adding notes. And you can let yourself know, where are you at? This is your to-do list. This is what you got to work on. It's in progress. This is your first draft, revise, final, complete, and then you could just remove the status if you don't, you know, have a status. So, again, this was my first original draft. So this technically is considered my first draft. But yes, because a lot has changed. So this is what the layout looks like, and then the compact list. So these are what the different layouts all look like. I don't have them categorized, so I just have them all in chapters. And then of course the stats. Now here, if you did not import your work, it is asking you how many chapters do you think that you have that you're going to be working on in your book, and you can add as many, and you can select when you're going to start. So if you want to start with chapter 1, you do that, and then you ask for 4, and what it's going to do, see, chapter 1, and then in 2, 3, 4. So these are your 4 chapters. And when you click on it, it's going to ask you, do you want to start typing or do you want to import? And yes, if you have your story as an EPUB already from other previous, you know, places, you could just import it there because the format and all that stuff has already been filled out. However, when I imported my my work, and I don't know why though, I noticed that it did not see how it bunched it all together. So now it's making me have to go in and make some adjustments. What I would have had to do is I would have to go in and, you know, clean it up and format it to how, you know, to what it makes me comfortable with. So here is pretty much what it looks like in a nutshell. You have your zoom in, you can auto zoom, however it is that you feel is your best, you know, with whatever makes you happy, with whatever big, small, this is your zoom in. Think of it as pretty much Microsoft Word, and I think Readsy has a format like this too. Your notes. So now that I clicked on this, what this did was it created a column to where you have your content, your navigator. With the new notes, you can remind yourself to add something new to the story if there's anything here that you want to make corrections to. Navigator. Navigator is pretty much elements. So as you can see here, my character is highlighted, Kevin Riley, because I created an element based off of his name. So when you click on it, see how it has all his information? It makes it easier for me instead of having to go through the module. So instead of having to go through the characters, look through that folder and find his name, this is kind enough to actually find it for me, and that way it can fill out all that information that I filled out in his character sheet without having to go there. When you actually publish this, especially if it's in a traditional book format, you're not going to find this here. So don't worry. This is just for you, the writer, so that way you know where you're going with the character and anything that you need to know to help you to progress in your story. Of course, you have paragraphs. So of course, here is where, just like with Microsoft Word, you have subtitles, captions, the different sizes of headers, and the paragraph. So for example, chapter 1 right now is header 1. I can change it to header 2 if I want to, and then of course, see how it moved it all the way to the very left. This is the font that it is right now, the font size. Here is where I can align it. I'm going to go ahead and center it. And then of course, this is your paragraphs. So of course you can add space before or after, and then you have double spacing based on the format that you want for your manuscript. And then here, if you want to add images, add comments, create insert breaks, or instead, let me see if I have it in this chapter. Okay. So here I manually did the, the asterisks. If you don't want that, you can instead insert the horizontal line, and that way you have your break. Not page break, but just break that brings us to, another time within the story. But me, I'm old fashioned that way, so I prefer the asterisks. So I'm using Control Z to put it back. Comments. So now for me, as a writer, I would not need to do any comments. However, if I probably had an editor and I wanted them to take a look at my work, just like in Microsoft, you highlight, click on the comments, and what it did was it has created a page to write a comment in. And let's see, Kevin heads to his locker. And then just click add. And now I have it, right here, my comment. And if after I made any changes and adjustments here, you can check it off, and now it is gone, meaning that I've cleaned up that mistake. All right, let's go back. There we go. So now, for example, if I want view all comments, let's see. So it's no longer, it's been resolved. So see, here it is under the resolved. Of course, if it was unread, it would be under those categories. If it was flagged, so on and so forth, or if you want to view them all. If you are done and you want to delete it, once again, the 3 buttons, you click on that, delete permanently, or reopen the comment if you've made any kind of error or mistake. So let's go ahead and do that. And you could have also deleted all comments or closed all comments from here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And again, if you want to open up your notes, all you have to do is just go into notes. And now we are back to, chapter 1, that fateful night, because these are the headers. So in case there's a certain part in the story that you want to go back to, I'm just going to click on that fateful night, and bam, I'm back right to the very top. Again, it has my character on here. And if there's any new notes that I want to add, I add it. Remember the 2 bars? This, again, is your move. So you can move the panels to whatever space that you want. And of course, this is your focus. So instead of, having the little panels over here, it helps you to focus on the main thing. And you can even close this out too, and you're just solely focusing on your story. Search. Just like in Microsoft Word, if you are looking for a particular word, like for example, Ben. So here we have Ben, and just like in Microsoft Word, if there's something that you want to replace Ben with David, you can do so as well, and you can do that for the entire project. And now all my Bens have now been turned into Davids. Of course, just like Microsoft Word, if you want to bold, italics, underline, cross out, change colors of the font, or even highlight as well, you can change the format, quotes, indent, bullets, links. I believe this is like links to like a website or anything like that if you want to. And then of course the comments tab that you have right there. But overall, this is pretty much your manuscript in a nutshell. If instead I want to type something in, all right, so this is me just typing in my story. So again, I can change the format to how it is that I would like it to be. And then of course, as you can see, as it's set to 12. So as you can see, this is pretty much what I've filled out. This you have to be careful of, because if you click on it, it's going to take you to the element. The purpose of tags is to click on your element or to get to the page of whatever element that you've created faster. So like for example, let's go back with Kevin. If I was to do at Kevin, see how it is already asking, because these are the links that he's connected to. Of course, here is my character right here. If I do that, bam, and if I click on it, here he is. So now as you can see, I have not added this character into my dictionary. So I right click, I can add into my dictionary, and with the at tag, seeing that he doesn't have one, I can insert an element tag, create a new element, add him in here, fill it out, and then as I create that element, now if I was to go to my character sheet, you're going to find him available. So let's do that right now. Let's go to my characters, and there he is. So I just created from my own manuscript a new character sheet. And as you can see, this is my template. As you recall, I did a template for my timeline. If I wanted to create a story plot structure and all that stuff, you can do the same thing for your character bio. This is the template that I created. You go to view, go to manage templates, and here it is. My character template. I put a heart on it because that's my favorite. This is what Campfire gave you, a basic template, but this is mine that I customized myself. All I did was open up a brand new page, and I created the panels that I wanted. So now it's easier for me to just upload and fill out information for my characters. You could also look at that previous video in the playlist. I will eventually upload my revised draft for my story, and in preparation to have it published. But what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to show you what it looks like for when you are ready to publish your book. I'll only be using these 3 chapters, but for the most part, I can just do a quick walkthrough because I'm not going to actually publish what I have. I'm just going to walk you through what it looks like when you are ready to self-publish your work. Thanks for watching.